Hello and welcome. I've just pressed record after I've been chatting for a while. So welcome to Declutter Your Life online workshop today. Looking forward to sharing tips and tricks, but also hearing what works for you at home. We all do things a little bit differently, but looking forward to hearing what works for you. But let's start off. Use the chat if you're joining us live. Let us know, if you haven't already, what accumulates at your house. What do you find difficult about clutter? And also where you're joining us from. And if you're watching this, because we have just pressed record, as I said, if you've joining us from somewhere via YouTube, you can use the comments to ask questions. I can't reply instantly, but it does come into my email and I can reply to any questions. So thanks for joining us wherever you are, all around the world. As I said, what accumulates at your house? Let me know. I'll introduce myself shortly, so you've got all those details. And as I said, use the chat to ask questions as we're going through. So my business, Space and Time, is all about using our space and our time in a conscious way. So rather than just, going through the motions and I've always done it this way, I've always organized my things this way, or I've always used my diary this way, we want to do a bit of an audit and an update and make choices that are deliberate, that work for you and your family right here, right now. And my business also helps people create systems to support their life. So we sort out the systems at home so that when you walk out the front door, you've got things organized and sorted and you haven't got that weight of the clutter following you around the house and around wherever you are, going outside of the front door as well. Continue to share in the chat what your intention is today, what you're keen to learn. Changes of any sort are much easier if you've got a clear idea in mind. If you're thinking paperwork, yes, I want to pick up some paperwork tips today. Keep an ear out for them and we will, jot them down and let us know as well, as I said, what is working well for you. And after our session today, towards the end of the session, I'll share what we're going to be up to over the next few weeks as well. We've got some more workshops coming up and also a program that you can join. So keep an ear out for that as we're getting towards the end of the session. So here I am, Julie Cliff, declutter coach and professional organizer at Space and Time. Before starting my business, I was an executive assistant and administrator for 20 years. So helping people get and stay organized in an office was something I loved to do. And then took those skills of those processes and ways of organizing in the office and taking them into the home to help people with their space and their time. I now have a team of people here in Melbourne and in Geelong, and also run online programs like this and others to help people in their homes. Married, my husband is working from home today. One of my teenagers is still in bed because he's not working today, and the other one is at school. So what is the big deal of having too much stuff? Well, clutter can really impact us. It causes stress and anxiety, and it causes us to be overwhelmed, and that affects our productivity and our focus. And it really can affect our overall well-being as well, because our focus, as I said, and our productivity can be affected because there's just too much to do. There's too much to look at. You're looking around the room and there's piles of things and it just sort of weighs you down, and that can really affect our overall well-being. And many of our clients come to us for many reasons, busy working people, or people have disabilities, or they're caring for someone with disabilities. So there's not one type of person that is disorganized. Many of our people that come to us are just very, very busy people, and they're trying to achieve a lot and get a lot done. So we can help them do that. So as I said, there's not just one reason why we find ourselves with challenges with clutter. So why would we want to get organized? Well, home organization really improves our quality of life. As I said, when we walk out the front door, if we're organized at home and feeling on top of things, feeling in control, that really can help us with our motivation and our, our enthusiasm and our life in general when we walk out of our front door. And also being organized can help decrease our stress because we know where our shoes are, we know where our keys are, we know where our sunglasses are. We're not having to run around the house like a headless chook looking for those things. And also getting organized can really simplify tasks. It helps with planning, organization, and just daily life, getting to appointments and those sorts of things if we are organized. Just quickly wanted to share these couple of success stories to show how being organized can really affect how we go about our life. It's just not about that it looks pretty. It means that this pantry would be easier to prepare your breakfast. It would be easier to prepare your dinner. Finding a snack, finding the right things to eat are easier with the after shot on the right-hand side. And also getting ready for work is much easier when your bathroom's neat and tidy. You can find your lipstick, you can find your hair straightener, find your toothbrush to be able to clean your teeth and run out the front door. So, being organized at home can be really helpful. This storeroom, a lot of the work was done by the client after we had some discussions on what was going to work well. On the right photo, but on the left side of that photo in the after, they've got some nice storage spaces to be able to put some things now. And on the right, the school bags get hung up every night. So we can really have some great success when home is organized. Let's let me have a quick look at the chat before we go on any further. Thanks, Rosemary. She says bags of quilting scraps to use to make quilts. Yes. Scraps and scraps and scraps. I've got a bag of scraps in my car that I took from a client's house about 6 weeks ago. I need to find somewhere, but they are tiny scraps. They are too small for quilting because she does the same thing as well. Let's see if we can have a talk about that later on. Thanks for letting us know. And Dee says, I want to learn ideas of decluttering my paper, clothing, and digital files. Beautiful. We'll touch on some of them today, Dee. But also have a look at our YouTube channel. We have specific workshops and recordings specifically for paperwork and specifically for wardrobe and specifically for digital. So as I said, we will touch on some of them today, but more specifically, you'll be able to find additional resources on our YouTube channel. Thank you. Good on you. She will take a look. She says, let's have a look at the format for the session today. We're going to go through the 6 steps of the space and time organizing system, which starts with the first step, which is stop the stuff. Let's stop more things coming in the front door in the first place, because if we don't, then we're just going to continue to come back to the same cluttered spots that we always have, because more and more keeps coming in. The second step is your commitment to being organized. The third step of the space and time organizing system is sort the stuff. Fourth step, things you no longer need. The fifth step, easy storage. And the sixth step is maintenance. How can we bring being organized into our daily lives? So each step as well, we're going to have a look at understanding why that step is important and how to implement it. So let's get stuck into the first step, stop the stuff. As we're going through each of these 6 steps as well, jot in the comments if you can think of additional ways to support this step. For example, how can you stop more paperwork, more digital clutter, more scraps from your quilt making? Have a think, how can we stop more stuff from coming in? Share it in the chat. So the idea of this step is to really be mindful of where the stuff comes from, and stop it at its source. Is it hand-me-downs? Are people giving you things? Is it family heirlooms? Are you a compulsive buyer? Do you scroll online and order lots of different things? Is it the kids' toys that they get given every year? Where is it coming from? Because seriously, it is almost impossible, not just difficult, to make any progress if there is more stuff flowing in. We just can't even get to the backlog if there's more and more coming in. So really be mindful of what you bring into the house. And learn to say no to acquiring new items. So that can be yourself. Say no. Tell your brain no more. We don't need more clothes. I don't need any more shoes. Sometimes we do need them if we get holes in them. But learn to say no as well to other people that are trying to, very kindly often, pass on their hand-me-downs. But sometimes they're just trying to clear up their space and find an easy place to get rid of it. So we can say no thanks and make it clear to others that we're not taking on any more stuff at the moment. We're going on a decluttered diet. And also set limits on what you bring in. So you might go, I'm just going to have these shoes here. We just did our shoe rack. I need to share those photos. Haven't done it yet. Did it on the weekend. My husband instigated it because his shoes wouldn't fit on this shoe rack. And now that is the only space we can have shoes. So that's our limit. So you can set up limits yourself now as to how many pairs of things you have, how many bottles of things, how many containers of things, how many drawers of things, how many bags of scraps, how many piles of paper, and be really diligent and stick to them. And then also, if you need some additional inspiration, involve a trusted friend or family for support if you need, or get an expert like myself or someone in my team to help you with some accountability so that we can say stop more things from coming in the front door in the first place. Here's a few ideas on how to do that. Again, share in the chat if you can think how you can stop your clutter in your house. Instead of giving more bits of plastic toys, how about take the kids to the zoo or the family on an outing, or go for a picnic, or go on a hot air balloon ride rather than more toys. Wardrobes, resist the sales and stop telling yourself that you couldn't possibly leave it there because it was such a bargain. You're really only tricking yourself, and only buy it if it fits. Like literally go to the shop, try it on. Try not to do online impulse buying where you probably get it home and it's not the right size, shape, fit, form. And take a friend. Again, make sure it's a trusted friend if you're going out trying on clothes, and give you some advice on whether they think it works for you. Always take a list when you're shopping as well, when we're trying to stop more stuff from coming in, because the marketers are so clever. Those salespeople, buy one, get the second at half price, or 2 for the price of 1. Is that the same thing? Probably not. But they are very clever and spend a lot of money on it. So take your own list and stick to it, and return things to the store if it doesn't fit your purpose. Paperwork, this can go with the paperwork and the digital emails. I mean, unsubscribe, particularly for emails. But if you do have some magazines and those sorts of things coming in, like physical paper, make time to read it. Put it in your diary. It could be nightly reading like I do before I go to bed, or a couple of times a week. And really limit the number of things that you are doing at once, because if we're quilting, we're doing paper mache, we're doing Latin, we're doing Spanish, and we're doing music all at the same time, that often means more paperwork and more responsibility and more things. So see if you can sort of look at it per semester and those sorts of things, and just be doing less at once, which means there's less coming in the front door. And also, as I said, for giveaways, anyone giving anything away, whether it's your friends, your family, or you're walking down the street and someone's trying to hand you a freebie or a flyer, say no thanks and continue to move on. And also with keepsakes and memorabilia, do you have to be the person hanging on to family heirlooms? Maybe somebody else in the family could do it so that your house is not cluttered. There is a whole workshop online as well for keepsakes and memorabilia. So if you do struggle with that stuff, check that one out. Yeah, as I said, perhaps you don't need to be the family heirloom collector. Let me check out the chat. Dee says, stop purchasing or accepting the donated clothing when possible. I love that idea. I do public speaking and media, so sometimes it's tricky not to depend on the engagement, but I can estimate things I do not need if I need something new. I love it. So as Dee is saying, she's being very conscious about what's coming in now. Again, it's so generous when people offer us things, but we can say no. It's okay to say no. Let's move on to step number 2, your commitment to being organized. So I'm sorry to say there is no magic wand. I don't have anything, a magic bullet, a silver bullet today to offer you. Being organized takes time, it takes commitment, focus, and persistence. Organized people are that way because they make that choice to spend time on organizing their home or organizing their time, because being disorganized is all those things that we spoke about before. It is overwhelming, it's stressful, it's exhausting, it is physically weight, it's heavy. So organized people make a choice not to do that, and they try their very best to weave that into their life how they can. As I said, a lot of our clients come to us from lots of different ways, and many of them in a caring, a caring role. They have somebody in their home with a disability or unwell. So their time is so precious, but it's so important for them to put themselves first. And this is the same with you guys as well. Put yourself first, put your foot down. I am worth this. I am worth the effort. I am going to be committed to being organized. And as that last dot point says, let's not worry about your wife or your husband or the kids. Let's get you organized. And then it will flow on to the others by osmosis. They will see that you are being organized, and they will start to pull up their socks and help you around the home as well. But also here is another couple of ideas on how to be committed to being organized, and that's to change your mindset towards being organized. So often I hear people say, but I've never been organized. But I want you to start saying now, I am an organized person, and start doing what organized people do. And it can be just as easy as a mind shift. My words aren't coming out. Change your mindset is what I'm trying to say. And then with that real flick of saying, yes, I am an organized person. Look at all these things that I do. I got out of bed on time today. I got in the shower when I said that I would. You catch yourself doing all of those organized things and give yourself a really big pat on the back, because it goes a long way to continuing the momentum of when you start to delve into those things that you perhaps are challenged with and not quite so organized with. And I also want you to focus on the life that you want. What do you want your life to look and feel like? I hate being rushed. I hate being in a hurry. Like if I'm running late for a train or an appointment, which is pretty rare, it's just the worst feeling, that anxious and anxiety and that overwhelm. Am I going to get this train on time? I don't like it. So I set up my life around being on time for things, making sure I finish one task with enough time to get to the next appointment on time, and those sorts of things. So what do you want your future life to look like? Share that in the chat with us. We'd love to know, what would you like your future life to look like? So here's some ideas on how to be committed to being organized. I want you to start to set up your home to support the rest of your life. So if you said you want to be organized with your paperwork, well, rather than just being organized with your paperwork, I want you to think about what that system will do for the rest of your life. So being organized with your paperwork means that you're only hanging on to the pieces of paper that you need. those pieces of paper that you use frequently are right there at your fingertips in a very easy system. We'll talk about storage shortly, but set up your home to support the rest of your life. If you think that your health is important, go through your pantry or your kitchen and make sure that you have good fresh food right there. The snacks are hidden somewhere and you're only going to have them on Fridays or whatever your cheat day might be. Set up your home to support the rest of your life. And also, let's not just revolutionize your physical surroundings, but as I'm just saying here, but also how you live your life. I worked at Melbourne Storm Rugby League Club, which is a professional rugby league team here in Melbourne. We are a very successful club. I worked there for 15 years, so I have worked around professional athletes and see how they do their things. Why can't we set up our lives just as deliberately? If we, professional athletes eat at certain times, they exercise at certain times, they do the work at certain times. Why can't we do that with our life and moving us towards the happy, energetic, well people that we want to be? So we want to set up our homes to support the rest of our lives. And also something to think about is, what does organized mean to you? What does being organized mean to you? My house is fairly neat and tidy and it's organized. Things have permanent homes, but occasionally it gets messy. And I'm actually going to show you a photo at the end of the storage section of our laundry cupboard. It's as ugly as anything. It doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be beautiful. It just needs to work for you and your family. So what does being organized for you? A couple of piles around the home, is that okay? Bit of paperwork here and there, or a few things out on the kitchen bench to remind you to do them, or to remind you to drink the water or eat that food? Or do you like it absolutely perfect, absolutely everything in its home and away, like a show home? What does being organized for you mean? Love to hear your thoughts as well. Share that in the chat. And also, I want to prioritize your time and put being organized first. As I said, there is no magic wand. We don't just go bing and we're all of a sudden organized. We literally plan things out in our diary. We allow time for travel. We allow time for stopping and starting projects, for packing up, for starting the next project. That's what organized people do. So let's start doing those things and doing that first. And here again are some ways to start to do that. And it can start with just as easy as 10 minutes. Literally put it in the diary. Mary Lou, if you can please share the link to the weekly planner. Put 10 minutes, twice a day, twice a week, a couple of hours a week, and start to put being organized and decluttering as a top thing for you to work on. And don't cancel that time just as though it's a specialist appointment or a doctor's appointment. And start by dealing with what's in your hands. Do something with it rather than drop it on the kitchen bench. Come home from work, unpack your bag, put your lunchbox away. Same with the kids. They can do the same thing, and they can put their lunchbox in the dishwasher or wash it out straight away, whatever the rules are at your house. You take your jacket off or your jumper off, or you change out of your clothes into your pajamas at the end of the day. Don't just put them on the floor drobe, on the ground, or the chair beside your bed. Where are they supposed to go? Start by dealing with what's in your hand, and this will reduce the amount of clutter that's even around you in the first place and allow you to get to the backlog, which we will get to. And also want to reflect that commitment in the daily planner. Thanks, Mary Lou, for sharing that link. For that daily planner, literally plan the time out. Get it in the diary. If it's not in the diary, it doesn't exist. Getting it in the diary really does show your commitment to being organized. Let me have a check the chat. Hi, Dion. Thank you for coming. It says, I want to be better example for my young son. I also want to alleviate the day-to-day stress of getting where we need to be. As she's a single mum in a motor vehicle centered metro area. I love it. Thank you. So exactly, Dion, having life more organized will be less stressful. So you know where things are, you can pack things up, get in the car, get to where you need to, allow enough time for moving around if lots of other cars on the road. So I love that idea. Thank you so much for sharing that. We'd love to hear what other people want to get more organized for. Let's have a look at the time. We are traveling beautifully. Step 3, sort the stuff. This is a fun step. I love this step. It's really where we start to see what we've got. We are starting to get into the hands-on stuff now. We've been talking about the mind and mind shift changes, but now we're going to delve into the top drawer, or we're going to start with one shelf in the pantry. And we're just going to start to group like items together to get a clear view of what we actually have. Now, this step is not about getting rid of anything just yet. We're just going to sort like things together. We just want to have it more ordered so that our brain can process what we've got there. And these sorted piles really do make it easier to decide what to keep and what to let go, which is in the next step, the 4th step of the space and time organizing system. And this approach aligns with our brain's liking for order, helping us declutter more effectively. So that jumbled pile from my kitchen drawer, it looks like such a mess. You wouldn't even know where to start. So let's have a go at sorting it out. So now we can see on the right-hand side, that same pile of things sorted into like items. So all the scissors are together, all the knives are together, the spatulas, the egg rings, the measuring cups, the tongs, and our 7 vegetable peelers. So who knew from that pile on the left, it always makes me giggle. And I've presented this workshop 100 times, but we have more vegetable peelers than that now. My husband bought a different type. But anyway, you can't tell from that jumbled pile what is in the pile. So let's start this sorting step. And as we are doing this sorting, we can use it a little bit like meditation. We don't want to get too hooked up on anything. We want to let emotions come and go as we're going through them and handling the items. Don't get too, attached to things, grandma's wooden spoon or spatula or whatever it is. At this stage, we are just focusing on putting them in their like items and into groups rather than making any decisions just yet. So let's just go sorting them. I was going through some digital old appliances and cords with a client on Tuesday, and we just went, okay, that's all the old iPhone cords there. That's the USBs, that's USB-C, that's mini USB. And we're just starting to sort them in like things with their friends. And then you can continue around the whole house with this sorting. So again, if we're still in the kitchen, looking at small appliances, putting baking equipment together, dishes, bowls, wooden spoons, serving spoons. Then if you want to move into the junk drawer, you'd put all the batteries together, the tape, the scissors, the blue tack. And toys, you could sort by putting all the Lego together, the Barbies together. Paperwork, you could start by sorting by date or the category, or all the water bills together, or the rates notices, or the council bills, all of those sorts of things. So just starting to sort. Again, we're not letting anything go. We're not making any decisions. After this step, and again, we're just starting with a small tub or a top drawer of your desk or the junk drawer. Now put a timer on for 10 minutes and just start sorting. So let's do a quick recap, and I'm just going to have a look at the chat. You're welcome. Quick recap. Sorry, I'm looking at messages and flipping from here and there. So just to recap, the first 3 steps of the space and time organizing system have really helped us lay the foundations for decluttering. So at the start, I didn't say, go to Kmart and buy $400 worth of tubs and containers, and we're going to make your pantry beautiful. That's not the whole idea. First of all, we talked about stopping more things from coming in, because if it's still coming in, if there's still packages from Amazon arriving at the front door, we can't get on top of this. We really need to start to be more minimal. Otherwise, the piles are just going to come right back. Even if we do a big declutter, they're going to build up very quickly. The second step was your commitment to being organized. I am an organized person. I am an organized person. I am an organized person. So you say that to yourself and catch yourself doing all these great organizing things. And this mindset is going to help us a great deal going forwards. And also in that step we've just done, it was to sort the stuff. We haven't got rid of anything just yet. We've sorted it out into some categories. And now we can move on to this next step. Step 4, things you no longer need. So the reason why this step is so important is that we want to let go of the items that are no longer serving us. So, as we go through life, we outgrow things, literally and metaphorically. So we want to let go of those things that no longer serve us. And we want to be clear on what to keep and what to let go, to make space for those things that we are using. We want to be able to easily find the scissors when we need them to open that packet of rice or cut off the tags on something, or whatever you might want to use a pair of scissors for. Or we might want to find our shoes in good time so we can go to work and do that easily. Or if you're like me, I get up very early in the morning, it's still dark, so I literally get dressed in the dark, so I've got my things all lined up. So I only have things in my space that I am using. I don't need old pairs of shoes and old pairs of pants that don't fit me anymore and just getting in my road and building up the clutter. I just want to surround myself with the things that are adding to my life right now and are adding to, as I say, the whole of your life. And it's not just how your life looks inside your home. How does the rest of your life look outside of your home as well? And as I said, this step can help you clear the physical and mental clutter. What can you let go? And as I said, the previous steps have helped us get to this point, to be in this mindset of, yes, I am ready to let go. So here's how we can start to let things go of things we no longer need. And begin with the easy choices. And some of the easy choices are the duplicates. How about those 7 vegetable peelers? If I did need to declutter my kitchen, if I didn't have enough room, if I couldn't find a good vegetable peeler that worked, the duplicates would be a perfect time. Or if you have 5 pairs of running shoes, 2 are old and past it, and these 2 are current ones. You might have running shoes and a dress pair of shoes. Let go of the others. Start with the duplicates. It's a great place to start. And also the broken items. As I said, those running shoes that are past broken strap or a broken something on it, let it go. Try your very best to be able to send it to the right place where it should be, whether it's recycling, upcycling, something like that. But sometimes things just have to go in the rubbish bin. As I said, we do try our best to do what we can to get it to the right place so it can be recycled, repurposed, reused. But sometimes there's not that opportunity. So another thing that can be really helpful on helping you let go of things you no longer need is to know where to donate it. Now, if you have a look at our website, we have a lot of donation points for here in Melbourne, which is useless for you guys at the other end of the world. But even if you did have a look, you might see, oh, okay, so in Australia, the lost dogs homes like to take blankets for their animals, those sorts of things. So you might be able to look up, you know, lost dogs homes, that sort of thing in your area. So even though it's very Melbourne centric, have a look at that website link. Mary Lou will grab it for us in a moment. I think she's still here. And find somewhere to be able to donate in your local area. As I said, let go if you have multiple, and have a go of the idea of thanking the item for its service. I had a beautiful pair of shoes that I wore to a Kylie Minogue concert a number of years ago, and they gave me blisters. They were gorgeous. They looked amazing. But as soon as I got them home, I put them back in the box and donated them to the op shop after thanking them for their service. I had an awesome time at the concert. I did not like the blisters, but you know, they could quite easily be still sitting on the bottom of my wardrobe. But I made that choice to thank it for its service and pass it on to someone else. I hope they were comfortable for the next person that took them on. Another way to help you let go of things you no longer need is to take a photo of it, or make a video, or write something about it, and to be able to remember the item, or who the item came from. You know, your memories won't vanish if you let the item go. You know, our memories are in our heart, in our minds. So have a go at that as well. You don't need the physical item if it's no service to you any longer. Pass it on and let somebody else get some joy from it. But you will still be able to keep in mind the great occasions that you had with that item, or the person that that item belonged to, like maybe it was grandma's dinner set or something like that. So what is the first thing that you will let go of after our session today? Let me know. Let me just have a quick swig of water. Okay, step 5, easy storage. Now, there's a lot of deliberate things in relation to easy storage. It's deliberately called easy. Firstly, so it can fit into the word system, S-Y-S-T-E-M. Storage didn't fit into that word, but it really does need to be easy for us to be able to continue to do it and do it and do it again. And that is to create permanent homes for our items, but more importantly, return your items to their permanent homes every time you use them. So you've got your scissors. Here's mine. They just live in this little pot right here. I know that's where they live, and they go back in there as soon as I have used them. So create permanent homes for those important items that you need straight away. Makes it easy to find, but also easy to put back as well. If it's not easy, you won't do it. I am so lazy at times. I've been a professional organizer for 10 years. Our business, Space and Time, just celebrated its 10th anniversary. And sometimes I am still too lazy to put something along because I need to quickly get off to do the other thing. So the easier it is, like, you don't want to have to be moving multiple things to get to the bottom thing, to undo the lid, to put the thing away. It needs to be simpler than that. Some things don't have to be quite that accessible, like Christmas or Halloween decorations. We can put them up in the attic or garage, wherever. But even so, I think I like to have my Christmas decorations not too far away, or I just won't do it. So I am very lazy. Easy storage, easy for you, easy for the family, and easy for any outside help that's coming in. And understanding that this step is also deliberately the 5th step. Now, we've deliberately done the first step, stop more stuff from coming in. We got committed, we sorted, we decluttered, we've let go of a heap of stuff. And now we have a smaller collection of stuff, and now we are going to get it, know where it's going to live. We're going to set up that permanent home for us. So there should be less now to make that storage. And having a think as well about storage items, such as tubs and boxes and that sort of thing. A storage item is actually a tool. So a tool is something that helps do a task easier. And just remember again that these tools are not magic. So containers, boxes and baskets and those sorts of things that you can see in this pretty pantry here, you do need to put stuff back once you've used it. They are not magic. They don't just go shh at the end of the night and suck everything back into that basket. You need to be committed to being organized, put things back in their containers and where they live, because they do help you. They are tools, these storage items, but they are not magic. So don't forget about that. So again, right now we're just trying to get yourself sorted and organized and setting up the right storage. We're not wanting it to be perfect. We want it to work well for you and work efficiently for your family. And once it's sorted out, we can then make it look nice if you want to, depending on, again, what does being organized mean to you. But again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'll show you my laundry cupboard in a moment. Now, there are 100 million ideas online to help you get organized with products and things. You can search, go to Google or ChatGPT and say, give me some storage ideas for deep pantry shelves, and it will come up with some containers to use or techniques to use. I'm just going to show you a very quick few here to give you the idea of how we can use these tools to help us stay organized. So you can get a little container like this one here on the left. This stops things from toppling over. Keep like items together. So, all your snacks or whatever they might be go together in these little pots. I think these are online from Amazon. You'll be able to find them online quite easily. A clear Perspex container like this with the dividers in it. On the right is just a tub with wheels, and it just slides in and out of a cupboard. So you don't have to stick your head in the cupboard. I stick my head in cupboards many times a day, but it does make it easier if you can bring the stuff out to you rather than you have to go into the cupboard. So try a tub in a cupboard and use it like a drawer. And here, this is our bottom drawer in our kitchen at home, just with a couple of Perspex containers in it to keep like items together, all the Fruit Ninja accessories at the back, and then at the front, our ice cream making machine. This is a bundle of Tupperware here in my pantry, neatly, very basically organized with the label. Don't ask me what I'm going to do when some of these break now that Tupperware is not around, but let's deal with that later on. Very simple. Photo storage and organizing is a whole workshop in itself. And there are professionals out there that can help you with your digital photos, but you can do something like put them together in a nice coffee table like this, if you would like, or if you've got printed photos. Again, what does being organized mean to you? Can you just have a box with the 1980s in it? Or these are the photos of my sister, and these are the photos of my brother, or these are our trip to Canberra, whatever it might be. Again, how much time do you want to spend on it? And what does being organized mean to you? And I promised that I would show you my very ugly shelves in my laundry. We've been in this house for 22 years. And these shelves and cupboards have looked pretty much like this the whole time we have been there, with a few tweaks here and there. And, they're just beer boxes. So just cut up into the right size, labeled, printed on the computer with some contact over it, just some plastic film. And it works for us. I have thought about the idea of getting some nice containers at some stage, but haven't quite found the right ones. and these are perfectly fine, but I might do an update one day. Let's see. But again, it's my choice. How do I want to use my time, and what works for us, and what does being organized mean to us? So this is organized. It's not beautiful, but it does well for us. What have we missed? I'm coming up to the last step, and then we'll do a summary, and then I'll let you know what else is coming up over the last few weeks. If I've missed anything, ask your questions in the chat now and I'll come to it. Let me just check the chat, actually. Thank you, Mary Lou, for that link for the donation items. As I said, these are for links here in Melbourne generally, but you might find some ideas. And Mary Lou, yeah, thank you. If you can put the YouTube link in there for D as well as the others. So if you get a chance, otherwise we'll include it in the email that we do a summary of later today. So let's have a look at the last step. So this is step 6, maintenance. And it's so important because keeping things organized is an ongoing task, not just a one-time job. So we don't just go, I'm going to declutter and then it's done forever. That is not the case. We are always decluttering. We are always organizing. Being organized is a thing that we do each and every day. Decluttering is just the start. The real challenge is maintaining the order. So let's see how we can embrace these daily habits and stay organized each and every day. And a way to do that is to consider your future life. We spoke about that before. What do you want your future life to look like and feel like? If you've decided I'd like more time, I'd like more relaxing time, I'd like more space in my day, start putting those things into your life. That means saying no to things, saying yes to certain things, saying no to other things, focusing on your priorities and letting some other things go for now. We love to do all of these millions of things at once, but let's try and focus on just a few less things at the one time and be successful at that, and put some things on the back burner for now. So what do you want your future life to look like? And is what you're doing each and every day now going to lead on to your future life? So these are some of the ways we can embrace some new habits to maintain your organized space. And we shared the calendar before. I have mine printed beside me and on my phone and my computer. And I live my day by the calendar. So if I need to make a phone call to somebody, I'll plot it in with a reminder that goes bing on my phone or on my watch. Have I got anything on here? What are reminders? I had to change a reminder this morning. It didn't pop up until 9 o'clock this morning that it's my niece's birthday, so I missed saying happy birthday to her this morning. I usually like to ring. Didn't come up until she was already at school. So I've now moved that reminder to 7 o'clock in the morning, ready for next year, so that I can call her. So use your calendar, use reminders, use your technology, or if you're using a paper diary, write yourself notes and appointments ahead of the time that you need to do it. As I said, I use my calendar to help me run my business. And also involve the family by setting house rules and promoting teamwork. We also have, in my family, we have time after dinner that everybody has to help tidy up, do the dishes, stack the dishwasher, clear the dining room table, and clean the kitchen counter. And nobody's allowed to leave until that's done. My husband is normally folding the dry washing while my 2 sons are helping with those sorts of things. So that's our family rule. That's our teamwork. And that is a part of us keeping things in order every day. And also when they are doing that, we say to them, go and get anything in your bedroom that needs to go in the dishwasher and bring out any rubbish as well. So it's out of their bedroom and where their computers are. So that's something that we do every day as a family to help us stay organized. That's our maintenance. But also don't forget to lean on those accountability buddies and some community support, or get a professional like myself. Even if you are on the other side of the world, we can do accountability sessions on Zoom. You tell me that next week by 4 o'clock, I'm going to have the spare room wardrobe sorted out. You tell me that, and let's make sure it happens. We can do that. And also continuously adjust and adapt your organizing system to suit your life right now as well. Just make some little tweaks. Give it some time though when you're setting up new things. Don't just go, oh, this is not working. Try and figure out how you could tweak it and make it work, and be committed, and before you make any changes as well. All right, before I jump into summary, let me have another very quick look. Let's go summary. So at the very start, we were being mindful of what you can bring into your home. We made time for being organized. We're making conscious choices about what to keep and what to let go. We sorted the items, we set up the storage or the permanent homes, and we're doing this stuff each and every day. Again, it's not just something to do every now and then, just out of interest. The photo there on the right-hand side was a pantry that my team member Doreen did for us probably 2 years ago now. The client wanted a pantry that she could take people into and show. That's not my idea of being organized, but that's what the client want, and it is amazing. I think it's the best and most beautiful projects that my team members have done. Again, that is what the client wanted. That is her. That's what she says is being organized for her and her family. My pantry isn't that beautiful, but again, it is completely up to her. But good on Doreen. I'm going to send her a message this afternoon and tell her she's awesome. Continuing on with our summary, let's use our stuff to bring us closer to the life that we want, rather than too much stuff getting in the way. Practice makes perfect, and keep it up. It might take some time, but you will get there. So Mary Lou's put some links in the chat for a few of our websites and YouTubes and whatever. We've got a lot of these free workshops fortnightly. So they're all recorded, they're all on YouTube. We're active on our socials. So if you need any support along the way, check out all these things that we do. 2 weeks time, 2 weeks time, yes, we are going to do calendar declutter, which is all about time management. Please note that we have a change of daylight saving at the end of March. So although it's still 10 to 11 my time, the time will change for other people in the other parts of the world. So it's too hard for my brain to think about at this moment. But use your apps or whatever to be able to figure out what 10 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time is going to be for your time. But just be clear that that'll be different. As I said, my brain's not working to be able to figure that one out. And then 2 weeks after that, making good health a daily habit. Looking forward to talking about those things. And just for coming along today, would love to give you a free 15-minute chat. So send us a message and let's do a Zoom chat. What is it that you're trying to declutter and be organized with? And let's make a plan for you. Let's stop my share. We have Zoomed along for that, and let's check the chat. You are welcome, Dee. Thank you so much. She says, you are a wealth of wisdom and knowledge. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Dee. You would hope that after 10 years, I may have picked up a few things along the way. But again, did I miss anything? Let me know in the chat if there's something. We've still got a couple of minutes. What was your highlight? What was the best bit today? And also, what's something that you do at home that works really well for your family? Pop it in the chat now. I'd love to hear. Well, we've got a couple of minutes, and then we'll wrap up and get on with our day. I have a client to head out to today. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Melbourne today. Spring. Any final things? Thanks, Dion. Seconded. This was a great workshop with very doable steps and advice. I hope that's the case. Don't forget to just stick on, what's your future life going to look like? Don't worry about that you were 14 and you wore these tiny little hot pants or this tiny little ski pants. And yes, that beautiful little girl, she is an amazing part of your life, but those ski pants are no good for you anymore. Let them go with love, thank them with their service, and pass them on to somebody else that can use them. But yeah, really appreciate you all coming. Dee says the highlight, I have a vision of what I'd like my future self and life to look like, and I look forward to achieving it. I am very organized, but these papers are out of hand. Thanks, Dee. Check out that paperwork one, or drop me a message if you. I'd love to chat to you about your paperwork. I love paperwork, but setting up a little bit of a system on how you're going to use it and then tackling the backlog might be good. Good on you, Effie. She says, yes, thank you so much. All right, well, I won't rattle on for any more. Thanks, Dee. Good on you. I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks' time. If you are going to join us for the next session, as I said, check out what that time is going to mean for you. It will be at a different time slot because of our change of daylight saving. But yeah, look forward to seeing you, and thank you all so much for joining us today. Thanks so much. Bye for now.